Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and I'm going to start this project off with this sign that I got at a thrift store for $2.49. I'm going to give it several coats of an antique white paint. You could spray paint it if you want. I actually don't mind brush painting, so I let it dry in between coats. I think I ended up doing 3 coats total to cover the painting that was already on it. Once I had it all painted with my coats of paint, I'm going to set that aside. And I had this little square of burlap that I cut out, and these stencils from Dollar Tree. These are self-adhesive, but I'm actually not going to use the adhesive. I am just going to pull the stencil out, and I'm going to use this Abundantly Blessed one. So I'm going to just pop this right out of its little holder here. And then I'm going to lay it where I want it on my burlap, and then I'm just going to take some tape and use that to hold it on. And I'm going to put something underneath it so that it doesn't go through onto my table. So I've decided that I was going to peel it, but then I was like, you know what? I won't be able to reuse it again. So I'm just going to use some tape and tape it off. Just pop some tape on each side, making sure that my stencil was even. And then I'm just going to take some black paint and a bouncer brush and just lightly brush my paint inside all around the whole stencil. And sometimes you have to go over the same spot several times because you don't want to use a lot of paint. That's how you get bleeding. And then I'm going to peel it off, and look, it came out so perfect. I love it. Once I had that all on there, I am going to take my sign back out, and I'm going to give it a good sand around all of the edges. I'm just using my little micro sander for this. Just kind of sand off all the edges, go all the way around the whole sign. And I didn't really do in the centers, just the edges of the center. So once I had that all sanded and cleaned up my mess, I am going to take my antique wax and just wax around the edges. Kind of rubbing it in with my fingers. And then I'm going to go through on the edges on the inside, and then I'm also going to go through on the top of each one of the slats. And then I'm going to go in with a baby wipe and pull off the excess stain that I didn't want on there. This is a very damp wipe. Actually, it's just a cloth. And it's just very damp. It's not wet. And I'm just going to go through and kind of blend all of that stain in. Or the wax in, I should say. And now I'm going to let that dry. After I get it the way that I wanted it. And then I'm going to add my burlap to the bottom. So I'm just going to set the burlap where I wanted it. I'm going to run some glue on one side of it. Once I have that side glued on, so I'm just going to run that bead across that side. Make sure that I lay it where I want it. And I use my little finger protector so I wouldn't burn myself. And then I'm going to run the glue on the other 2 sides. So I just kind of peeled it up and ran the glue along that. And there's the other 2 edges, and I'm going to slowly lay it down, again using my finger protectors to make sure that I don't burn myself. Once I have it all glued down and the glue is dry, I'm going to take these picks that I got, and all of these florals came from different places. Some came from Hobby Lobby, some came from Walmart, and I believe some came from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to cut all of those and then start arranging them in the pocket. So I just kind of grabbed whatever florals that I liked that I had in my stash and then just started placing them where I wanted them. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing the 2 sides first because I want the sunflower in the center. So I kind of just messed around with this until I got it to look the way that I wanted it to. And anyone who knows anything about arranging flowers will know that you just kind of never get it perfect. You never get it the exact way that you like it. So as you can see, I pulled out that flower, and then I'm just going to kind of add it somewhere else. And then my little glue popped up, so I'm going to make sure I glue that back down. And then again, just playing with the florals. Slide that down. And how cute so far. Next, I'm going to take these furniture tacks and I'm going to cut off the ends of them. I just used a little pair of wire snips and I'm just snipping the ends off. And then I'm going to glue them down onto all four corners of the burlap. And that one side just kept popping up on me. So I ended up gluing it a little bit more once I put the tack in. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue and then press the tack in. And there was actually enough of the tack left that I could kind of push them into the wood also. And then one more up in that top corner. And I think that looks so perfect. And will also help hold the burlap on. Next, I'm going to take some some raffia, and I made a quick bow, and I glued that right underneath the flowers. And then I am going to add some twine for hanger. So I'm just going to push it through and then just tie it in a few knots to hold it. And I'm going to repeat that process on both sides. I think this turned out so super cute. I absolutely love it. I hope this inspires you to look at things at a thrift store differently. It is absolutely the cutest thing. I hope it inspires you. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, don't forget to spread the chaos.